Hello everyone and welcome to the Smashi Business Show. Today is Monday, September 8, 2025 and I'm Abdul Majid Awan.
And I'm Ward Ahmed, and we've got a packed show for you today. First up, Emaar Misr has signed a $19 billion Red Sea tourism deal. Undersea cable cuts in the Red Sea have slowed internet across the UAE in the region, which I know many of you have experienced over the weekend. Saudi AI firm HUMAIN explores the launch of an AI training academy in Riyadh, and Google has allegedly signed a $45 million deal with Netanyahu to downplay the Gaza genocide. Now, the Love in Dubai Community Awards 2025 celebrate the extraordinary achievements of individuals who have made a genuine and lasting impact on Dubai this year. Now, the winners will be announced at an awards show on September 11th, so stay tuned.
And here is a look at some of the major stories right now. Saudi Arabia is planning an Olympic-sized stadium in Riyadh, estimated at $1.8 billion. Winners also set aside land for a second UAE casino resort. Another has entered a 80-100 million joint venture with Tasha's group to open high-end restaurants across the GCC. Roblox has blocked 300,000 games in Saudi Arabia, and the founder's wife of Salata sold her Cartier watch for $2,500 to help launch the business. And you should make sure to follow our Instagram page and subscribe to our newsletter for the latest updates. But the very first big story for today is Emaar Misr for Development has signed a deal with Saudi and Emirati partners to build the $19 billion Marasi Red Sea project. It will cover 10 million square meters. The resort will include a world-class yachting marina and luxury amenities, transforming Egypt's Red Sea coast into a global tourism destination.
Egyptian Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli confirmed the project will generate more than 150,000 jobs during construction and 25,000 permanent positions once operational. Partners include Saudi-owned Golden Coast and Sky Tower for real estate development. Emaar Misr, majority owned by Dubai's Emaar, will lead Egypt's largest coastal tourism development.
And the development is expected to generate between $100 and $100 to $200 million annually from tourism. However, no start date for construction was disclosed. Last year, Abu Dhabi's ADQ, which is a sovereign wealth fund, they pledged $35 billion in Egypt's Mediterranean coast projects, underlining the Gulf's growing investment presence in the country's real estate and tourism sectors.
So in June, Egypt also announced plans for Jirian, a new megacity west of Cairo, featuring 35,000 housing units and 250,000 jobs. Now, together with Marasi Red Sea, these projects underscore Egypt's push to attract Gulf investment and reshape its tourism, housing, and infrastructure landscape for future economic growth.
And in addition to these developments, e-commerce giant Noon is weighing a dual listing in Saudi Arabia and the UAE. This is on the note of Mr. Mohammed Al-Abbar, who is also the founder and chairman and the head of Emaar Misr. And within 2 years, he says it's going to be listed in Saudi Arabia, which is Tadawul, and in UAE. We still don't know which UAE exchange. It can be DFM, it can be ADX. But yeah, that's pending profitability improvements. To be honest, right now, Noon hasn't been profitable. But the story is that it was founded in 2016. Noon sells everything from laptops to groceries across Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Egypt, and is now valued at nearly $10 billion.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Like, it has just been launched a while ago. Honestly, I think that this summer, no one had a better vacation than Mohammed Al-Abbar.
Yes.
Truly, like, announcement after announcement. I know that we've been covering him a lot lately. You know, we saw how just recently he came out and he said that Americana is looking to invest into 3 more local homegrown brands, and then now we're hearing about the Noon IPO. Now we're hearing about Emaar Misr, and I think with this entire Emaar project, Majid, I'm not surprised at all. They launched the website like a while ago. Like I think
Nice.
2 months ago, I remembered sending it. And he's been in Egypt for a while himself. He's been out here giving a lot of speeches about how lovely Arabs are wherever you go and how entertaining that they are. I truly think no one had a better vacation than him. I think that this is really so exciting. It's so exciting, I think, also because of the fact of, I think they call this like offshore investments, but I think for me, the fact that you have someone like Mohammed Al-Abbar taking his wealth pool and going to Egypt, okay, yes, it's exciting, it's in Egypt, yes, it's Al-Abbar, but much bigger than that. The reason it's actually so big is because of the fact that I was looking into this book over the weekend, Majid. It's called What Tech Calls Thinking. Nice. And basically the entire book, what the author is trying to outline here is the way that billionaires think and the way that billionaires love to do this thing where they create like foundations and pay people to not go be educated. Right? Nice. Yeah, they have that. You always hear them say that. You don't need a degree. You don't need to go and do this. But then, if you actually take a look at, some of the most talented people, they all went to really good universities. Like Huda Al-Lawati, she went to Harvard. Yeah. Then you have Khaldun Al-Mubarak, he went to Tufts University. And then you have, I think, Elon, he spent a lot of time in universities in America and in Canada. So I think that, when you're telling communities, you're telling people don't go get your education, don't go get your degree, it's almost like this dumbification of society. And I think what I love about these Arab billionaires is that not only do they make like offshore investments like this in Egypt, but if you actually hear a lot of Al-Abbar's speeches, he always says, go study, go get your education, go get your degree. If you look at Hussein Sajwani, he will also say the same thing. So it's interesting to see the difference between the West and the Arabs and how they advise on things and what they tell you to do.
The main thing is, I think the emphasis on education is very important. I think we had this discussion and I asked you a question. It's just like coming through my mind that how many people can you name in the world who are dropouts and they build billion-dollar businesses? Bill Gates, maybe Steve Jobs, maybe.
But they were still in a really good school, though.
Mark Zuckerberg, maybe. You can count them on fingers. There's like 8 billion human beings, and if out of them you can only count 10 or 12 or 15 or maybe 100 people, that's a very low success rate. And the best success rate is you actually go out, learn a skill. I'm not in favor of not doing degrees, but even if you're not doing a degree, you need to learn a specific skill. Case in point, Mark Zuckerberg, Meta, recently they hired engineers for the AI whole cohort or whatever you can call it, and he's paying them millions just to come and work for him. So they actually learned coding, they actually learned AI, they went through a system, maybe not a university, maybe not a proper system which we call an education system, but they learned the skill. So yeah, having a skill is very important. Steve Jobs, very good at public speaking, very exceptional at marketing and creativity. You learn that over time. Bill Gates, very good at selling. He didn't have Windows when he sold it, He went to, what is the company name? He actually sold them the software even before making the software. So very good at sales. Every one of these people who you think are exceptional and they're successful because they're dropouts. No, they're not dropouts. They actually left because they thought this education won't help, and whatever they're building is better.
Wait, Majid, so, I just found a really good example. So Peter Thiel, he's a co-founder of PayPal, right?
Yeah.
This was a case study in that book, right? What Tech is Thinking, and he basically attended Stanford University, that's an Ivy League, and he got a bachelor's degree in philosophy. And this is the same person, by the way, who basically started a foundation. He called it, I think, the Thiel Fellowship in 2010. And the program basically provides people $100,000 over 2 years to young entrepreneurs, typically under the age of 23, to skip or drop out of college and pursue innovative projects instead. So this man, he went to Stanford, basically started a foundation of, listen, I'm going to give you this much money, don't go to university. And that's the same person who went to university. That just does not make sense to me. And even got an entire list of all these people. Elon Musk, University of Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Larry Ellison, University of Illinois. Mark, he went to Harvard. Okay, maybe he dropped out, but 2 years is, it's a good time. Jeff Bezos, Princeton, Bill Gates, Harvard. So all of these people being in these universities, it's very telling of something. You don't want to listen to them when they tell you don't go to university. It's like, then
Sure.
why did you? No, seriously, then why did you go?
Yeah.
Like, what was the point?
See, for them it was socializing, sitting with people. Winklevoss brothers, if they never came to Mark Zuckerberg, he would never have the idea of Facebook, because what they wanted to build was a social media
Yeah.
platform for their university. He took it and he made it global. So he took their idea, actually, if you see the social network. It's a very nice movie. Mark Zuckerberg says it's wrong. It's factually wrong, but he loved it. I saw one interview of him wearing the same T-shirt that the character is wearing. And the host was asking him, like, why are you wearing? He's like, I actually went and bought that shirt from the movie set. So yeah, but the guy, Peter Thiel, that you're talking about, I know him because I was reading about PayPal Mafia at some point. And a lot of people who were part of PayPal, Elon Musk also, they went on to do like some great things. And Peter Thiel was called the godfather, the Don in the PayPal Mafia. He was the guy. And I think the list has Max Levchin, never went deep into him, but he's the founder. And he was the founder and CTO, Chief Technology Officer at PayPal. Now he has his own company, a firm. Elon Musk was there. David O. Sachs was there. He's founder of a lot of things. I'll tell you the main names. There's Reid Hoffman, who built LinkedIn. And then you have Palantir Technologies, their founder, part of PayPal Mafia. SpaceX, a firm, Kiva, YouTube, part of PayPal, the whole group, Yelp, which was very big. I don't know if it's big now. So a lot of these people,
But would you say
they will tell you.
What would you say that all these billionaires have good relationships with each other?
With each
though?
other, obviously.
But
You
it's
can't
not
build
even
something
obviously,
without
though,
a team.
Majid. I feel like if you take a look at the Arab world, I have noticed that with these founders, and when I say founders, I'm talking billionaire level, their relationships with one another are much more cordial than these tech billionaires. And I feel like I really saw this over the weekend, over the death of Giorgio Armani.
Oh, yeah.
Allah yarhamu. But I saw the way that Mohammed Al-Abbar was talking about him and the way that he was paying him tribute. And then I looked back into their story, and essentially what it was is that before Burj Khalifa opened for the first time, tallest building in the world in 2010, basically Mohammed Al-Abbar, he actually went to Armani and he said, hey, can you help me open an Armani hotel to debut with Burj Khalifa? And I remembered reading from the quotes in this article of Armani basically saying that Al-Abbar had such an approachable, such a warm smile, that this is someone that you can really trust, this is someone that you can work with. And their partnership honestly just kept growing and growing. They didn't just open it in Dubai. They opened it in Milan. I think it's an entire company, and the fact that he paid he paid that tribute to them. It's so telling.
Yeah.
It is honestly so telling of the kind of relationship that they have together.
It's also very telling of the Arab culture. We should talk about it here.
Yeah.
I've seen it firsthand. In the West, you need, even if you're doing business with your father or brother, or even sometimes you're getting married and you're signing prenups. So everything is a transaction, and it has to be legally on a paper. In the Arab world, what I've realized is if someone gives you your word, they will abide by it. I know there are cases like there's like 5% of the people who will not, but in the Arab world, the word is the most important thing, not the law, not the piece of paper. And I've realized that in the past 2 years, I've seen it that if someone from the Arab world says something that I will do it, they do it. So that is very important, and that is why I think even within the community, within the Arab community, they're very good. And when they go out and they're so approachable like Al-Abbar was, and they're very warm and hospitable, I think it leaves an impact on the other person that, okay, this person is nice, I can trust him. So you have to build that trust. The Western society has a lot of problems. That is why we have so many legal papers that they've created. But in the Arab community, even if you look at the history of trade...
I think structure is so important, Majid.
Structure
you
is.
You need those papers.
I'm not saying they don't sign papers. They do sign papers.
Yeah.
But the word is the most important
There's
thing.
There's just a lot of tea and dates that goes with it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tea and dates and coffee.
I don't think if Mr. Al-Abbar someday does a deal with Mr. Khalaf Al-Abtur and they go into a joint venture, they will not sign papers. They have to sign papers. It's a legal requirement. But the conversation that will start will be between them, and they'll be like, no, let's do this, and no, let's do this. I don't think the financial officer of both sides will have the ability to participate in that. Al-Abbar will be sitting with Khalaf Al-Abtur and we'll be like, bro, we're doing this. This is our thing. We want to do it for Dubai, because both of them, they have this very nice thing where they've built themselves in Dubai. So they want to do.
They're in such different directions. You know what,
Yeah.
Haptour, he posted a video this morning. So he's on his way to Syria.
Oh.
He's on his way to Syria with a delegation. And I think honestly, Al-Abbar has done wonders with himself by choosing Africa. I really do think so. Especially because it's a continent that is relying on that build on to build more. I think that it's a perfect place to be in. And then you see Al Haptour with all the Shami countries, Lebanon, Syria. It's honestly like the comparison. It is so interesting.
It's an investment strategy both of them use. One is exploring unexplored areas, and one is exploring areas where monetarily you get more value out of your money. So for Mr. Khalaf Al-Abtur, when he goes to Syria or Lebanon, his currency converts into bigger money and he can buy more stuff. And somehow one day, if that becomes bigger, he makes a lot of money. Al-Abbar is taking risk, exploring an area which is still unexplored, to be honest. Africa still right now, it's so ripe. It's so ripe. I think we talked about the younger generation. I was looking at a video of a lady. She was presenting a TEDx talk, and she said that right now, nearly 65% of African population is under the age of 35. They are so ready to just break out and change the world, and they are doing it. So, Al-Abbar is going there. I think it's just investment strategy.
Look,
where you
honestly,
want to
but you know what, Majid? It's still on, we've seen how with Khalaf, he announced that he's slicing up his hotel in Beirut and, he's shipping it out to Dubai. Maybe he lost.
No, not Dubai.
Really? He did
Most
not say the
probably
location.
he'll go to Syria. That is why he's
But
trying that.
I think the fact that he said that he lost $1 billion in Lebanon, I think that we still don't have to cry over it because of, I think, Naguib Sawiris, the Egyptian billionaire. He's such a good example because, which Arab billionaire took his investments to North Korea? He took it to North Korea. He took it to Iraq. He took it to so many unexplored markets, and then he managed to build one of the largest telecom providers in the world, 6th largest to be specific. And then he sold it to this Russian company. So honestly, I still do believe in the vision of what Khalaf is trying to do. I think that Syria is really ripe right now. It's a perfect opportunity. But just to move on to our next story today, a major internet slowdown hit the UAE and parts of Asia and the Middle East after undersea fiber optic cables in the Red Sea were cut. Now, users of Du and Etisalat in the UAE reported severe slowdowns on Saturday, facing difficulties accessing apps, streaming services, and websites. Now, speeds have improved slightly yesterday.
And if you're stream right now, if you're looking at us on any of the platforms and it's glitching, it's not us, it's the internet. But while partial service has resumed, disruptions persist. Microsoft confirmed via its Azure status portal that customers may experience higher latency across Middle East routes. Traffic rerouted outside the region remains stable. Etisalat does not operate directly on Azure, but partners with Microsoft, integrating Azure services, managed support, and enterprise solutions.
So Etisalat offers a range of Azure-powered services, including express route connectivity, private 5G networks, and AI solutions. Industry experts say enterprises in the UAE relying on Microsoft's cloud may experience slower responses during peak hours. However, rerouted global traffic is minimizing the impact for customers outside the Middle East region.
And the Red Sea remains one of the world's most important digital choke points, hosting over 15 submarine cables. It carries nearly 90% of communications between Europe and Asia. Analysts warn that any prolonged outage in this corridor could create ripple effects for businesses and governments reliant on seamless data flow like us.
So telecom officials say investigations into the cause of the cable cuts are ongoing, with no timeline yet for full restoration. Regional operators are working with global partners to reroute traffic and reduce latency, and authorities are stressing the urgency of strengthening undersea infrastructure resilience to safeguard against more future disruptions. I think with this entire story, Majid, I just think this is like such bad juju because no, seriously though, because we're seeing what's, not to get political or anything, but we're seeing what's going on in Gaza right now.
Yeah.
The situation, it's not even a situation, it's a genocide. It's just worsening. And so the fact that that's going on and then like everyone just does not get the internet that they want, this is like bad juju. This is the world, I feel like this is the spiritual forces screaming and saying that, hey, like we hear the Palestinian calls under the sea. I don't know. This is just my theory here, but I saw that other reporters basically had to say that this had to do with the Houthis or something, that they had cut it. I'm really not even sure if they can do something like this.
Yeah, it's a very complicated network of submarine cables. Submarine, they're very deep places where a submarine goes, and the cables are literally laid on the ground. Sometimes they have a structure in which the cable runs through. It's a very complicated process to just go there and put those cables. I don't think Houthis have that technological advancement or that technical expertise. I don't think they can do that. It's just whatever happens on that route is usually attributed to them. But let's see. Hopefully, the internet is getting better.
Yes.
Obviously, there's this rule of sharing. Everyone should know this, and people who've lived in my generation, old people, they would know that whenever you're promised 1 MB, you get 1/4 of it. It's a sharing. So it's divided between 4 people. The worst that can happen is when such things happen, then there's less place to basically, it's like congested roads. If there's less traffic, they'll divide the road into 4 to 8 lanes. So now you're using 1/8 of the speed that you've bought, basically. So that happens. It's fine. It happens a lot, to be honest. Every year, once at least this happens. It's just an infrastructure problem, which, to be honest, soon enough we will see being solved. We talked about Starlink a lot on our show. We've done a lot of stories. Starlink is in so many places right now. Saudi, the maritime industry is already using it. Elon Musk, last time when Mr. Trump was here, he said that maritime agreement has been done. They will use it, so they're not relying on the internet fiber optic cable system. UAE also has approved it. There's a new law which they're changing. That way, our maritime industry will also be able to use it. But local Vard and Majid level use and your level use, it will take some time. Again, I think it's just how would you keep the data private? How would you safeguard people's privacy? That's a lot of questions. Elon Musk will know everything. He'll become Lex Luthor or maybe Superman. We don't know. But yeah, that's the next idea for internet. Soon enough, we'll have satellites which will be connecting everything. Jeff Bezos, Amazon is working on an idea. I think, what's the name of the Emirates CEO? He said that they're looking at that option. Everyone is looking at options to use satellites. I still think satellites are going to be an expensive option because satellites are expensive. Cables are still cheaper than satellites. But eventually that's the plan. So it's like, remember, I think in Sudan you have like cables running through poles, right? And something happens, those cables get cut. One area loses electricity, then they dug them underground, right?
You have to send people to fix it to sites.
So then they dug them underground and they put them in the ground. So now the problem is solved. Kind of like that. Soon enough, you'll have satellite internet. I'm saying all of this because one woman on the comments on that story was like, I thought it was satellites. Why is a cable being cut a problem? I was like,
I thought the same thing, by the way. I thought the same. Listen, she was voicing a valid question.
No, a lot of people, I think, they think of internet as phone signals. You need fiber optic. You need a physical infrastructure to run all that internet. It's not just a phone call. Which
I did not even know it was down in the sea.
So transformers are there for phones, not transformers. There's another term for that. So your signal can jump, your voice signal can jump, but data needs a physical infrastructure to run on. So yeah, little complicated, but soon enough, this problem will never occur because we'll have satellite internet. That's the main story.
And right now, Saudi is building on its future, its young people's futures infrastructure. So Saudi AI company HUMAIN is considering the launch of HUMAIN Academy at its Riyadh headquarters, aiming to set a new benchmark for practical AI education in the kingdom. So the academy would focus on hands-on learning to equip students and professionals professionals with skills in AI development, deployment, and innovation.
And CEO Tariq Amin wrote on LinkedIn and he emphasized that the academy's design is still in the planning phase. He was actually getting ideas for it. He was like, if you have an idea, we put an email out also so you can reach him if you're an expert in AI. He said that HUMAIN has invited its community to provide feedback on which AI areas the academy should prioritize, ensuring the curriculum aligns with industry needs and addresses the growing demand for AI talent in Saudi Arabia and the wider region.
So the proposed HUMAIN Academy would serve as both a training and innovation hub, combining practical courses with real-world AI project experience. Now, Amin highlighted that the initiative aims to bridge the gap between theoretical knowledge and applied AI skills, helping learners contribute directly to Saudi Arabia's growing AI ecosystem.
And HUMAIN is also seeking partnerships with platform builders interested in collaborating on an AI-first learning and development platform. Professionals and organizations with expertise in AI education, online platforms, or content development are encouraged to reach out to academy@humain.ai to join the initiative and shape the future of AI training in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
I think with this entire story, Majid, I love how Tariq Amin is so reachable.
Yeah.
I love that fact about him. I know that some people might be listening and saying, like, what do you mean we can like contact anyone? But I think that the fact that he is so reachable, that you can speak to him, that you can suggest a solution is very telling of the kind of leader that he is trying to be. He's trying to build something that not only he is happy with, and that everybody is happy with. And yes, that might sound like what typically things should be like, but things usually are not like that. So I think the fact that he's taking an input, that he's taking in the idea of like such an academy, I know that because so much money, we discussed multiple times how millions are being poured into AI, and if millions are being poured into AI, then they need more people to run it. They need more employees, and that obviously means more training, and that's why this academy over here is so important. I think the last time that I heard of an academy, it was when Tim Cook came to Saudi Arabia, and then Apple announced this like big academy for women in Saudi. So it's interesting that HUMAIN is taking an approach with it now. Let's see what it's going to be like. Is it just going to be for men? Is it just going to be for women? It's going to be interesting to see the process.
Gender, but I think it'll be more of like, what do we need in the future? The idea is to train your human capital. Train Saudis on making whatever they want to make. They don't want, I think the idea is don't bring people from outside and pay them hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions to build something for you. Create your own talent pool and do that. And I think Saudization works in that way. Emiratization works in that way, that you train your own people. For example, you can bring experts, but have a plan. Like in 5 years, we'll bring this many experts. This is the inflow of money and the capital that we'll bring from outside. For example, if we bring 5,000 experts in different fields, we'll have a pool of 100,000 our own people. These 5,000 train 100,000, and eventually after 5 years, we say thank you so much for training us. We now have a bigger pool of talent, and we'll use them. So that is how it should be done. That is how all experts in the field of human capital say that it should be done. Some countries don't do it. Yours and mine. We always complain about our countries. I think people will be like, why are they always complaining? But good countries do that. That's the idea. You train your own people and you use them because they're cheaper. Not cheaper in the sense of money cheaper. Whoever you bring from outside will always cost you more in terms of accommodation, in terms of benefits, in terms of this and that, and bringing them in because they are already working somewhere, so you have to up the pay gap. And like, oh, we'll pay you more. Your own resources will always cost you less than outside resources. It's like if you buy branded imported water, I don't want to take the name, or you just buy the Oasis water or your local water, which is bottled here and used from here. So that's the idea. But yeah, Academy is good. It should be there. And the next story we have is very interesting. Again, a big giant doing something, but yeah, we'll discuss it. Google is reportedly running a 6-month, $45 million campaign with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office to shape government messaging on Gaza. It's not our news. It was done by Dropsite News, And the reason I waited a little on it for 2-3 days was I wanted someone else to also do it, and it's better that a lot of people do it. That means there is some truth to it. Reuters has done it, Bloomberg did it, a lot of big FT. I think I haven't seen it on FT, but a lot of big publications.
I think they're too busy
have.
with BCG.
Yes,
I think that's what
they're
it is.
finding something.
They're
but,
running with it.
Yeah, this is the revelation made by Dropsite News, and it was signed in June, according to Dropsite. And the documents that they've seen describe Google as a key entity, not one of the entities, key entity in Israel's PR strategy, with ads running on YouTube and display and video 360 platforms.
So the campaign, described in internal documents as Hasbara or propaganda, reportedly aims to downplay Gaza's genocide. Its humanitarian crisis is what the site called it. Now, advertisements included videos denying famine conditions, including claims that there is food in Gaza. Now, with one video reaching over 6 million views, boosted by paid promotions across Google's platforms.
And additional spending included $3 million on X, owned by Elon Musk, formerly Twitter, and now merged into XAI. So XAI is now the parent company, and a $2.1 million on Outbrain and Teed ads. Critics say the campaign coincides with Israel's blocking of aid to Gaza on March 2, raising concerns about the ethical role of tech platforms in amplifying government narratives during humanitarian crises.
So the humanitarian context remains severe. In August, 185 people reportedly died of starvation in Gaza, including 12 children. Now, last month, UN-backed Integrated Food Security Phase Classification declared Gaza a famine zone, highlighting the urgent need for aid and raising questions about messaging efforts that contradict the on-ground realities.
And the report has sparked debates over corporate responsibility and media influence during conflicts. Google has not publicly commented on the alleged deal. They have been publicly commenting on a lot of things, but I think right now they're also thinking what to say. Observers warn that campaigns like this may distort public perception of humanitarian crises, underlining the power of tech giants in shaping narratives in politically sensitive situations.
I think with this topic, Majid, I was thinking about it. I store all my information on Google. Like, actually,
does,
like,
yeah.
but really deep it though. How much information do you store on Gmail? How much information do you store on your drive?
Everyone does it.
I store everything, my contracts, my documents, my passport, my Emirates ID. No, seriously, all my scanned documents, I have this like perfectly put together drive that I'm so proud of and I use, and it's interesting because Google will also be the same thing that will make us pay to have a bigger drive, so that we can have more memory. And so to see that this is the kind of agenda that they're allegedly pushing, it's definitely concerning. Is it surprising? Not really, because we've kind of been seeing a trend, right? We've been seeing BCG. They were part of this relocation model where they created the estimate of how much it would take to relocate Palestinians, $9,000 to be specific per Palestinian. And then we also saw it with Microsoft. Apparently, they were storing 1 million Palestinian calls per hour in Azure, and now we're seeing that Google themselves partnered with one and only Netanyahu. So to see this all just put together, packaged for you, I think that it's such an interesting time. It's an interesting time to live in. We'll see what happens. I think that this will pass. I think that it will definitely pass, and I honestly don't really have much to say on this. It's just concerning.
The main idea is all these big platforms, they always run away by saying, oh, we didn't know, which is quite weird to say when you run the platform. I remember there was a whole case with Meta where Mark Zuckerberg went to court. He goes to court a lot on a lot of cases. But every 2-3 months he's in court. Good for stockholders because the stock goes down and then he comes out victorious as always, and the stock goes up. But again, Meta had this whole, I think, case put together against them that they allow political campaigns. So Mr. Trump, when he's doing a campaign, he can use Meta, all the platforms, to spread out fake propaganda. So Meta did something. They actually went on and they were like, if you're posting something which is political, which is a campaign, even now if you post something on Meta through an ad, says, like if you push something by paying money, they ask you specifically that, okay, we'll take the money, okay, we'll push this, but if it has political connotations or if this is some kind of campaign, we'll stop it. So Meta did it to an extent, but still, there's so much propaganda on Meta, on Facebook, on Instagram that you can see if you just know where to look. So it's one of the biggest problems. The biggest problem I think with social media and all these platforms is privacy. Google, everything is there. They can access it. They will tell you the terms and condition, like, oh, we'll never use thing, blah blah blah.
I saw something, Majid. I saw this court hearing where Zuckerberg was basically saying that yes, we did provide your information. I remember that. I think he publicly admitted to it.
He would agree to it, but he would agree to it in a manner where he's not guilty. The last thing that happened where I remember him admitting it, he said we use it for, we don't sell the data, but people who come to our platform and develop something and they want contacts and they want data, we just provide it to them because they're developers on our platform and blah, blah, blah. It's a very technical lingo that he used to make people confused. He epitomizes the saying, if you can't convince them, confuse them. So he did that. But there is like a whole series of literature and videos and whatnot on how Meta actually sells your data to other platforms, to people who actually want to target you with their ads. It's a very famous ongoing theory where you're like, oh, we're talking about headphones, and you go and sit on your desk, or you're talking to like for a group of friends, you're talking about headphones. As soon as you guys open your phones, you see a headphone ad. And you're like, we never searched headphones or something. So there's a whole theory about it. It's not a law, it's not real, it's not facts, no one can prove it, but there is a theory about it. So yeah, that's the main idea. All these giant platforms, they have a very big responsibility because now they rule the world, to be honest.
But Majid, like, we also have a responsibility though. And I mean it in the sense of like that book that I was mentioning of, what's it called? What Tech Calls Thinking.
Yeah.
We, the consumers, the founders, the people, the locals, we all have the responsibility of being, this is why I mentioned education. When you are educated, you are able to read between the lines. You are able to analyze what is propaganda, what is not. This is just, this is absolute blasphemy, scroll. Do you know what, like, I remember even when I used to do history, Majid, like, sorry, off topic, but one of my assignments was that I'd break down propaganda. Yeah. And I'd have to, no, I'm being so serious. I'd break down propaganda. I remember we even, like, when we were looking through the Cold War, obviously the US had a very huge agenda against the Soviet Union, now Russia, and they even called it the Red Scare. And they carried out, and at that time, obviously, propaganda was different. Yeah. They didn't have social media, so it was through the movies, through the magazines, through the posters, and it's like now, that is changing, that has transformed, it's in the media. And this is why, like, I think that you should have the kind of, you should kind of have that intelligence to read through ads, to read through what they're trying to convince you to do. Do you understand? And this is why education, once again, is so important. People should just understand this messaging more.
Tell you a very interesting fact. Bollywood is, I think, the second biggest movie, video, anything industry in the world after Hollywood, right? Bollywood is Indian cinema. Before like independence and then after post-independence, 1940s and 50s, Russians and Americans would flock to India, again, because they had so many people, 1.5, 1.6 billion people living in that area. India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, all of these countries combined. They would flock to those areas. They would fund movies. And they would tell them to show a Russian guy who's good. And the Americans would pay another movie director and be like, show the American guy to be good. And it was a war of money just to put. So the propaganda that you're talking about, it's actually there in the history of cinema, where people actually, all of these went and they did propaganda in even other countries, not even in their like close neighbors or where they want. Everywhere they did it. So yeah, that's one of the things we've seen. Again, coming back to social media platforms, very, very, very big responsibility. I think 10 years, 20 years down the line, when something new comes and all these social media platforms are sitting and like, what are we doing? What should we do? They will be counted on the wrong side of history for not supporting directly, but somehow giving access to the people who are doing a genocide to just do it. They can't stop it. They want the money, obviously. It's a money game, I understand. But you have to draw a line somewhere and be like, no, this we won't do. This is not allowed. I'm not saying go and support Palestine, but I'm saying that don't support the other side as well.
Dan, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Imagine,
don't support
you know,
anyone. If you want to be apolitical, be apolitical. It's like the same thing that happened with UEFA. They brought the children. Remember we talked about the story.
Oh, stop killing
Yeah.
children. But a lot of people criticize them for that, though.
Those people, they don't allow you to even wear an armband on a footballer's jersey or like clip or anything, which is not UEFA approved. You can't wear a Free Palestine band or anything. You can't wear any shoes. You can't have any political statement. And then UEFA itself comes out and puts out a political statement. So my point is, either be completely apolitical. There is no politics. You won't support Palestine. You won't support Israel. You won't support this. Understandable. Then be neutral. But if you're supporting one side, that's wrong. Then you're on the wrong side of history. So yeah, it's very difficult, but let's see.
Thank you so much for listening, everyone. That's a wrap for today. Thank you for tuning into the Smashi Business Show. Make sure to follow us across all social media channels at Smashi Business and stay ahead with our daily newsletter. You'll find the subscription link in the description.
This has been the Smashi Business Show, a Smashi Business production, part of the Augustus Media Podcast Network. A big shout out to our 2.3 million monthly listeners across all platforms. Make this possible. If you're one of them, we appreciate you. September 11 is in just like 3 days. Go and vote for your favorite business visionaries, made in Dubai. There's like 10 categories you can vote on. They're really interesting. There's very interesting people also there. So yeah, maybe you'll find a new influencer to follow or a new community person to follow. Go vote and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.